Ta-da! So, do we have anything to talk about today? This is the pre-show. We're not actually live yet. I'm going to go live here in actually a couple minutes. But I'm just going to do a few things as I normally do. But listen, you listeners who've been coming into Final Cut TV and Coffee, you know that I've been talking about this for months, that they were going to update the iPad version of Final Cut Pro at this iPad event, and they were not going to let Final Cut Pro for the Mac not be updated. It's the optics of it. It's the optics of it. Okay? That's what this is. This is they updated Final Cut Pro 10. They jumped to 10.8. But I don't want to talk about it yet. This is the pre-show. I have to do some things first. While, the normal stuff. Let's we'll be on here for hours today. Don't worry about that. Let's do group. Lots to talk about today. Lots to talk about, but it's also exactly what I thought was going to happen, right? We've been talking about it for weeks, months. For months. We've been talking about it for months. There's a lot to unpack here today, what happened. There's a lot to unpack, so we're going to get to that and just let me do some of this social media stuff. And then we will be right back. We're going to take, there we go, there, and there. So I expect a record turnout today at this show. I expected the record live viewers as we're going. We already got, listen, we haven't even started. We're in the pre-show. We already got 5 thumbs up. Fantastic. Fantastic. But let me just give me 3 minutes. Give me 3 minutes and we'll be right back. Okay? Let me turn this off. Turn the pre-show off. And we'll be right back. I'm going to disappear. Here we are. Final Cut Pro 10.8. Now, the only surprise, which we're going to talk about, that came today, listen, I've been talking with this for months. If you've been watching Final Cut TV and Coffee on Saturday mornings, this is not a surprise that Final Cut Pro was updated today. It was not a surprise that Final Cut for iPad was updated today. It was a surprise that they're calling it Final Cut Pro 10.8. That's a surprise. Let me just adjust this down a little bit. I'm always honing my stuff in my studio. So I'm just raising lower the camera a little bit. We got a lot to talk about. We got a ton of stuff to talk about. We already got 57 people watching live, and we've just started. 7 thumbs up. Fantastic. First off, I want to say thank you to the Final Cut Pro team, both the iPad team and the Final Cut regular team. Oh, let me do that again. That's why that wouldn't work. Here we go. Fantastic. Final Cut Pro team, we know you watch these live streams. We know we've been talking about this update for months. For months. I thought it might have came during NAB, but it did not. They held it out for the iPad event, which was my next choice. As I told you, I wasn't confident about NAB. I was kind of hoping something would come out, but it's okay. It worked out fine. I've got a lot to talk about with this Final Cut Pro update. Well, we do. We all have a lot to talk about. This is your live event. Let's catch up on some of these dozens and dozens of comments. Now, if that new iPad could change out and calibrate the blades in my planer or do laundry, I'd be impressed. Yeah, there we go. So Ben's not impressed. Ben is not impressed. Yeah, well, like I've said this many times, they're never going to be able to please everybody. I have things that I'm very, very excited about. And actually, the Final Cut for iPad is looking better and better. So let's get some of these comments in here. So Apple held up Final Cut Pro for Mac updates so it could wrap themselves into a Final Cut Pro update to go along with new iPads. You will soon be able to edit in Final Cut Pro for iPad on an external drive now coming later this month. That's a huge thing for me. Being able to update on an external drive is huge. But what did I tell you when I played the LumaFusion clip? I mean, when I talked about LumaFusion, who's one of our sponsors, they had their sale, 30% sale. It ended yesterday because I guess they might have known that this new version of Final Cut for iPad was coming out today. So Ben just saw an iPad commercial there. There you go. I get 2 cents for that, Ben. Where's 10.8? Well, good question. That is a good question. Let's look for 10.8. So here we are in the App Store, and it's not there yet. 10.8 is not there yet. It's still 10.7.1. So we'll have to see. They didn't say it's coming out today. They said it's coming out. Is that what they said? Something. We'll go over that. So Final Cut Pro 10.8, iPad to Final Cut Pro 2, Final Cut Pro camera, nothing big. I completely, unequivocally disagree with you, Chris Smith. Thank you for calling. For thumbs up, we already got 14 thumbs up. We just started. So Chris, here's the thing. Final Cut Pro 10.8, we'll talk about that separately. Final Cut for iPad, Final Cut Pro 2 for iPad, it's a big deal for the iPad version. The iPad version had bigger updates than Final Cut for the Mac has. Final Cut camera, that's huge. That is a huge, huge, big deal, and it's free. You don't need to, thank you very much. We got tons of thumbs up already. We don't need I've been saying for a long time they need to have a pro camera version native for the Apple for the phones. We're finally getting it. It's called Final Cut Camera. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. Listen, you, the listeners, you're the best. You are the best Final Cut Pro Live listeners anywhere in the universe. I appreciate each and every one of you. Where you got 80 live viewers right now. I'm sure it's going to hit over 100 this afternoon, and we'll be on here for as long as we need. We got to be on here for hours. We'll be on here for hours. Absolutely. But I don't agree. So Chris Smith said Final Cut Pro 10.8, Final Cut Pro 2 for the iPad, and Final Cut Camera. Final Cut for the camera was completely unexpected. Final Cut Pro 2 for the iPad is the bigger update, I think. We haven't seen 10.8 yet, but to me, it's the bigger update of the two. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be getting the larger screen, 13. I know I'm going to be getting the 13-inch iPad Pro. Whether I get the 512 or 1 terabyte drive, it's $400 difference to go from the 512 to the 1 terabyte. My tendency is to go to the 512, save $400 and get a nice fast hard drive. Well, I already have a couple, so I don't have to worry about that right now. Unless there's a speed difference. I'm not ordering it today. I don't need it in the next week. If there's a speed difference between, like there is on the Mac, between the lower end SSD and the higher end SSD, I'll get the 1 terabyte. But I don't really need it since you can edit off external drives now. So, captions, please. Captions, please. Give me captions. Listen, absolutely. Captions, they've got to be coming. And now this is really strange stuff. Ben says audio mixer, absolutely. Collaboration, yes. Text-based editing, yes. All the things I love in other NLEs. We'll probably never see in Final Cut Pro 10. Do you really think that, Ben? I waited 13 years for a scrolling timeline. 13 years for a scrolling timeline. But it's here. People said we'd never have it. It's more a Final Cut Pro 10.7.x upgrade. I don't disagree with that. However, the optics of them updating Final Cut for iPad to version 2 and updating Final Cut for the Mac to 10.7.2 are not good. So they updated a full number on the iPad from 1 to 2. They had to update Final Cut from 10.7 to 10.8. That has got to be the shortest time between full number updates. It is the shortest time, 6 months between full number updates. The shortest time prior to that was 1 year. So I'm not talking about the amount of features. We'll talk about that separately. Interesting that they versioned up Final Cut for iPad to Final Cut 2. Next step, as we've all been expecting, is the move to Mac version to a subscription. No, absolutely not. Aren't both dev teams the same? No. They use some of the people. When we went to the Creative Summit, we had five people in the different chairs. They have a dedicated Final Cut guy. Final Cut for iPad guy. He has a dedicated Final Cut for iPad. So the people that are working on the iPad version are not the entire Final Cut Pro team. Okay? It's some of the Final Cut Pro team and the one guy that's in charge of the iPad version. He is dedicated to the iPad version. So they have some common members. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. They have common members, but not the whole team. The whole Final Cut Pro team does not work on the iPad version. Some of the members do, yes, but they're not the same. My contacts within Apple indicate this is coming in. I don't believe you. I'm sorry. I don't believe you. It would be a disaster for them to go subscription. Disaster. Hi from Alan in North Ireland. How you doing from North Ireland? Logic Pro, Listen, I talked this morning. I said, it's time for a Logic Pro update. It's time for a Logic Pro update. We can finally rename our color grades and effects. Wasn't that a big thing with color, people with color that wanted to be able to rename their grades? And well, now you can with 10.8 when it comes out. It's not out yet. I'm excitedly waiting for the new version. If the color correction with AI function will work really well, I will be happy. Well, we have to wait, don't we? We have to wait for the 10.8 to come out. So we're going to hit 100 live viewers. We're at 96 right now. We're going 97, 98. We're going to hit 100 here right off the bat. I knew we would today. There's no way that we're not going to hit 100. At 99, one more live viewer, we hit 100, which is what I expected. It might go, might be a lot more than that today. We got a lot to talk about. We're just getting started. Slow down. We got a lot to talk about. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. So, seems the new keyboard and iPad Pro editing might now be practical there. So here's the thing. I was on the fence about getting an iPad Pro because I really want, thank you very much, I really want the M4 version. Here we got 101 viewers. Here we go. We hit 100. 105. We got 105 viewers. Fantastic. Live viewers. So I was on the fence about the iPad Pro because I'm thinking, well, I'll wait for the MacBook, the M4 MacBook Pro. Obviously, this is the first time that they've updated the iPad. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. This is the very first time they've updated the iPad before they updated the Mac. So I expect an M4 MacBook Pro to come out later this year, probably in time for Christmas. I'm going to get the iPad Pro 13-inch, either the 512 or the 1 terabyte. I'll probably get the 512. I don't need storage on the iPad when I have these tiny little SSDs. Now, I don't know the speed ramifications of staying at 512 versus 1 terabyte. I might just spring for the 1 terabyte. I don't know. It's not that important one way or the other. But anyway, this new update, here's what's interesting to me. I was figuring on feature parity between the iPad version of Final Cut and the Mac version. Well, obviously that's not happening. They're separating. The iPad version and the Mac version are separating. I don't think there's any common updates between Final Cut for iPad 2 and Final Cut Pro 10.8. Are there any common features? I think there's a separate list of features for each one. Hi, Richard. Glad with the Final Cut Pro news. We've been talking about this for months, haven't we? 112 people are watching live right now. Final Cut camera looks awesome. I agree. That was a surprise. I was expecting a pro version of the regular camera app, which basically this is, with added features. Now, they talk about white balance, manual ISO, manual smother. This, hopefully, it supports external audio. And we have maybe a volume slider, be able to pick our audio source. Hopefully they have that. So Final Cut camera does one thing, live multicam correct? No. Final Cut camera adds manual controls to the iPhone 15 Pro Max. It has all your manual controls, manual white balance, manual ISO, manual, I don't know about the focus. It has audio meters. This is not just a Final Cut camera. It's not just for Final Cut Pro. It's across the board. It's going to be free. Anybody that has an iPad or an iPhone 15 Pro Max will be able to download the camera for free. It has manual controls. It's more than just that. The best. Yes, let's get the best for the Final Cut Pro team. And the Final Cut for iPad team. And the Final Cut for iPad team. Up to this point, Final Cut for iPad was, to me, was a step down than Final Cut for the Mac. And it still doesn't have all the features of the Mac, but they're separating. They're separating. Final Cut for iPad and Final Cut for Mac are going separate directions. They're both getting their own features. So the features that are on Final Cut for iPad are not coming for Final Cut for the Mac, and the features that are on Final Cut for the Mac are not coming for Final Cut for iPad. That's very, very interesting. I thought they were going to be more feature parity, but apparently not. I'm really interested to see how Final Cut Camera performs. Nice to have another alternative to the Blackmagic Camera app. Well, I like the native feature of it. How many years have we had Final Cut, have we had the native camera app doesn't have audio meters? It's ridiculous. It doesn't have audio meters. Well, Final Cut Camera app does. Hopefully they have an audio volume control or some other things. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I always want a true audio mixer, as always. Thumbs up for that. Absolutely. Listen, I thought 10.7 was going to be a year or 2 years. Well, it didn't. It just lasted 6 months. It's already gone. 10.8. Well, it's not here yet. I'm keeping an eye on the App Store. It's not there, not available yet. We got 118 live viewers. Remixing is amazing, but only for Apple Silicon. Remixing what? What are we remixing? What are we remixing? Remixing, you're talking about on, are you talking about Blackmagic? Are you talking about, I didn't even pay attention to that. When a producer wants to sample just drums or vocals but doesn't have the original track, new feature called Stem Splitter extracts 4 parts from existing, yes. I talked about that last week. The Blackmagic DaVinci Resolve has that, a remixer. So the new Logic has that too? That's fantastic. That's fantastic. It's a teaser for the Mac version, as the M4 version will have to include more AI stuff. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. For those of you that are new to the broadcast, we got 121 live viewers right now. For those of you that are new to the broadcast, tune in every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. We have Final Cut TV and Coffee. We've had it for over a year. 63 or 64 episodes so far. This is what I want. This is app My Home. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Careful on how much RAM you get depending on storage selected. I need to find that out. If the RAM is more with the 1 terabyte, I'll get the 1 terabyte. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. So I'll probably spring the extra $400 and get the 1 terabyte, whatever. Yeah, I'm a bit more with Chris here. I don't really see this change my workflows yet. I guess the point is, I knew they were going to, I was very confident, as I told you, I would take a bet. As a matter of fact, somebody owes me coffee. Somebody owes me coffee because I said I would take a coffee bet that the iPad version would be updated. And if they updated the iPad version, the optics of not updating the Mac version at the same time, they couldn't deal with that. They had to update them both. So, yeah, I really think that 13 years is ridiculously too long. You mean for the scrolling time? I'm not disagreeing with that. Of course it was. Not clear if live multicam will allow live streaming. It would be nice, and I'm sure Apple would do it elegantly. That would be interesting. I think I might get some use out of the enhanced light and color in 10.8. I don't know what that is yet. Final Cut for iPad plus Final Cut camera is the same as Cinemaker. By the way, Cinemaker can now connect up to 8 iPhones and DSLR simultaneously. This is a seal of approval from Apple, from them. Fantastic. 131 people watching live right now. Now, we are on, as a matter of fact, we are on, let me just check on something real quick. Got to keep checking these things because, there it is. X, now X. There we go. I forgot to, see, I did a post and I forgot to put it up. Oh, there we go. So this has completely convinced me to get an iPad Pro, okay? Will I use Final Cut for the iPad? Off and on. I'm not going to get it for a year because I have LumaFusion. LumaFusion's got a new version coming out. Will I try Final Cut on the iPad? Yes. Yes. I'm going to do an article about the difference, the way they're diverging Final Cut for the iPad and Final Cut for the Mac. Now, we might have to wait for the M4 chip on the MacBook Pro later this year to see some of these, well, probably these features that the iPad has. Most of them. Most of them. Fantastic. So that's too long a comment, Sebastian. Oh my goodness. I'll add it to the thing and pull it up. Holy guacamole. This is on the This is on the Mac page. Let me pull that up and we can read it over there. Let me pull that up. Hold on a second. Newsroom. Here we go. Let me pull this up into, let me see how this works. Let me just check on the backyard. Look at that. We got birds out there. Beautiful birds. They're excited for Final Cut Pro. They're excited for Final Cut Pro 10.8 as well. That's why they're all out there. Now, let me pull up graphics. Let me pull up graphics. Hold on a second. And let me do... Oh, hold on a second. I didn't want that. Let me do this. I don't want that. Come on. Stop. Why is that one there? I don't want that one. Okay, so this is the, now is this live? Yeah, I want this to be live. So here we go. Now, wait a minute, I have to do one thing. Hold on 1 second. Scene, new empty scene. Here we go. No, I don't want that. New empty scene. I want this. No, I don't want that. I want this. Here we go. So, make it active. This is the, I'm going to turn that down. There we go. This is the page. Apple unveils iPad Pro with, let me see, where am I? No, I don't want that. Cam link. There we go. So this is the page, the Newsroom page. And of course, we were talking about whether there was going to be an M4 in the iPad. That was one of the things that determined whether I was going to buy one or not. The M4 is there. They skipped from the M2 right to the M4. So here's the stuff we want to talk about right here. This right here. So Final Cut transforms video multicam, live multicam on iPad, new AI features on the Mac. These are all the things that they're talking about. And I'm not even sure exactly what's going to be in 10.8 yet. First thing, right now is the time to duplicate, make a copy of your version of Final Cut Pro 10.7, right? Now, don't update to 10.8 and then say, oh, how do I go back to 10.7? Duplicate, zip a copy of your 10.7 in your applications folder before 10.8 comes out. Apple is mentioning LumaFusion on their iPad Pro page in conjunction with the M-Force chip. Absolutely. They should. Where is the AI enhancing workflow so we can truly create bigger, more impactful on a tiny device? They could get more of my money added to a subscription with features in Adobe and Resolve. Yeah, so Final Cut Pro 10.8 is coming. Sebastian, put smaller sections. When you put all that in there, I can't put it on the screen. Just clip some of the lines, okay? So here's one. Let me go over here a second. Here's one of the things that I wanted to talk about. I'm going to do this right now. And we're going to look at this. Here is the requirements. Final Cut Pro for Mac 10.8 requires Mac OS 13.5 related, 8 gigs of RAM. Boy, that's a ridiculous amount. 16 recommended, a metal-capable hard drive, and 6.5 gigabytes of storage space. So we're going to come back to that in 1 minute. Let me just pull this up first. Oh, boy, we got so much to talk about today. Let me pull this up. I have something to show you. So here we go. Let's go over to the graphics again. Let's go over to the graphics. I'm not sure why. Let's look at this. This is the new timeline index. Now, is there a new icon over here for the scrolling timeline? I think there is. Okay, I think there is. Let me see where am I pointing. Right over here. I think there's a new icon to turn the scrolling timeline on and off over there. I think that's a new icon to turn the scrolling timeline on and off, which I've been talking about, 143 people watching live, that I've been talking about since the Creative Summit, because they showed the icon at the Creative Summit. So I think, I can't tell because the image is really small. As a matter of fact, let me pull that up. Let me blow it up real quick. Let me blow this up. And we'll go to the MacBook. What is this? Is that a scrolling timeline icon? That's new, right? Right there. So that is a scrolling timeline icon, I think, that lets you turn the scrolling timeline on and off. Now I've been talking about this since the Creative Summit because they showed that image at the Creative Summit. So I think we have a new icon finally to turn the scrolling timeline on and off without going to preferences, which will be fantastic, right? Yes, it will be. Let me just turn this on. Now, do you know, just in case something happens and the internet gets interrupted or whatever, I'll come back on. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. You're the best. We got 35 thumbs up, 142 people watching. Oh, what the heck is going on? Final Cut Pro 10.8. Now, they're making all kind of new rules up. Before 10.8, the shortest time between full number updates was 10.5 to 10.6, which 1 year. Now it's been 6 months. They went from 10.7 to 10.8 in 6 months, full number updates. So what does that mean? That means the full number updates don't mean anything anymore. They're just placeholders along the way to update Final Cut Pro. A full number update is not the same as it used to be. Where'd you all see this 10.8 stuff? We saw it over here. Where is that? Let me see. Where is that? Sponsors, countdown, movies. Now, where did I put that? Well, I'll do it here. MacBook. Here we go. Final Cut Pro. What the heck's that? Turn that off. It's in the Newsroom. Ben, go to the Newsroom, the Apple Newsroom, and it talks about all the stuff for Final Cut Pro. So it looks like we have a scrolling timeline icon. On Mac, looks like introduces new AI features like enhanced light and color, which allows users to improve color balance, contrast, brightness in one simple step. Very cool. For efficiency in post-production workflows, color corrections and video effects can now be given custom names. Custom names. How long has that been going on? You couldn't name your different layers. In the inspector, to easily identify changes applied to a clip, and effects can be dragged from the inspector to other clips in the timeline or viewer. Once again, it's been on my list for a long time. The ability to drag from the inspector to other clips in the timeline or viewer. Fantastic. You can now drag from the inspector to other clips in the viewer or directly to the timeline. Fantastic. That's another item that they've crossed off of the list for Final Cut Pro that I have. Another item. Fantastic. Fantastic. I missed the AI functions piece. Need to see that. I wonder why they used free update word for Final Cut Pro. Makes me think they'll go to subscription or pay for Final Cut Pro 11. Paying for Final Cut Pro 11, going to subscription as an option rather than outright buying it. If they go to subscription only, they're going to have a worse situation than they had when they went from Final Cut Pro 7 to Final Cut Pro 10. It'll be complete rebellion. And I'm not going to defend them for that. I don't think they're going to. That would be a huge, huge mistake. Huge mistake. Any info when 10.8 is coming out? It just says, what does it say? It says it doesn't say anything about any kind of a date. Let me see what it says. Doesn't say. It does not say. Here's what it says. Apple introduced Final Cut Pro for iPad 2. It doesn't say when it's coming out, but it's any time. Let me just check. I'll check the App Store. It's still not there. Still not there. Still not there. update your current version of Final Cut Pro in the applications folder. Don't come back here and say, oh, how do I go back to 10.7? Zip a copy of Final Cut Pro in your applications folder now before 10.8 comes out. I'm telling you over and over again. Yes, this is one of the things I want to talk about. I'm more excited they had an entire segment about Final Cut Pro and they spoke boldly about it. Yes, finally, Apple has come out, even though it was just Final Cut for the iPad, and had a whole segment about Final Cut Pro on one of their events. Finally. Looks like you need the 1 terabyte if you want to get the upgraded glass. I don't care about that. I'm not paying $100 for that. What's the attraction of editing on an iPad? Isn't a MacBook exceptionally easy to work on and just as mobile? Yes, as far as I'm concerned, it is. But the Apple Pencil's pretty damn cool. The Apple Pencil's pretty damn cool. Now, I haven't updated. I have an iPad Air 2. I have an iPad Air 2. That's how old my iPad is. A new record, 158 people and 37 thumbs up. Thank you very much. That's fantastic. Let me see. Do I have Clean Shot X? Do I have Clean Shot X working? Because that's what I want. Where is Clean Shot X? Huh, I don't see it. Where's Clean Shot X? App Store. There it is. Why? There. Okay, Clean Shot X is ready to use. Settings. I don't want to export. See, this is what they do. I don't want to export to the desktop. I want to export to there. Choose. Let me see. Show quick access those. Save file to clipboard. Save. Upload. No, don't want to do that. Pin to screen. Open video editor. Show quick access overlay. Screenshot. Okay, I think that works. Let me see if that works now. Yes. Well, let me see. What the heck's going on there? Why isn't it? I just want to be able to capture it. Check for settings. Why isn't my settings? Hide while capture. Show icon. Start at login. Play sounds. Hide while capturing. Show quick set. Screenshot. Save. Oh, there we go. That should be it. Let me see if that's it. Yes, there we go. That's what I want. That's what I want. Now I'm good to go. So to answer your question, editing, what's the attraction of editing on an iPad? If you don't have a MacBook Pro and you're a student and you're young and you're used to iPads, that's the attraction for people that do that. This new M4, this new M4 iPad Pro is very attractive to me. Finally, they have real power. Now, I wish they had 2 Thunderbolt ports. There's only one still. But Matthew O'Brien, 1 terabyte model. Thank you, Matthew. 1 terabyte model has 16 gigabytes unified memory. 512 version only has 8 gigabytes. You have just made my decision for me. I will get the 1 terabyte version. Thank you very much for that. That's what I wanted to know. I will get the 1 terabyte version because I want the 16 gigabytes of unified memory. Thank you very much, Matthew, for posting that in there. You haven't seen a release date for Mac version of 10.8. You're correct. None of us have. We don't know yet. Okay, just read the 10.8 press release. Nice little thing, still waiting on the big things. So here's the thing, Ben. There's no way in the world that they could have updated Final Cut on the iPad to version 2 and not done a big update numerically on Final Cut for Mac because of the optics of it. Because of the optics of it. It's not a matter, it's not feature parity. I have to go back and see what's going on with that. Still no BRAW support. Nope. Sorry, just tuning in. Did you like the update? Was it enough? Well, there's 3 different updates. The iPad, Final Cut for iPad 2, which seems to be pretty cool. Final Cut Pro for the Mac 10.8, which has some really cool features. You can drag an effect from the inspector down to the timeline now. You can drag an effect from the inspector over to the viewer, to a clip in the viewer now. I love that. You can name your color corrections. You can name them in the inspector now, have different names for different ones. There's some other features, I don't know what the heck they are. We'll have to see. Not a fan of the separation, same name. It's confusing. I'm not disagreeing with that. We're going to hit 200 live viewers. We have 170 right now. We're going to hit 200 here shortly. I don't disagree with that. Let me just pull up. Let me see. Let me pull this up. Be right back. No, I'm not going to turn that on. Here, let's do this. This is what we have right now with the top of my head. 170 live viewers and 40, now it's 171 live viewers and 40 thumbs up. How about that? All-time record, but I expected that with 10.8. We've got a lot to talk about still. Honestly, MacBooks don't have touchscreen. With nice keyboard, mouse, trackpad on iPad with M4, you get an M4 MacBook with touchscreen and Apple Pencil. Yes, until the M4 MacBook Pro comes out, which will probably be later this year. October, November. And who knows, maybe it'll have Thunderbolt 5 and a touchscreen. They should have taken their camera app and added an advanced setting like Logic. You can turn on the advanced functions. I've absolutely still no BRAW support. No. Do we get a free update from 10.7.1? Yes. Yes, you get a free update. Absolutely. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. Another thumbs up is fantastic. I want to say thank you to all of you. Thank you very much. Thank you. All you listeners. 174 listeners. We're going to hit 200 today, I'm sure. The question is, if some features are needed M4? Good question. We don't know. G Video Edit, there we go. Another thumbs up. Thank you very much. I think it's awesome. Of course, today was all about the iPad. We still get an update. Apple officially shows support looking back to 10.6.6, 10.7, and now 10.8. Got all nice features. Let me just keep on checking the App Store. Keep checking the App Store, see if it's available. Not yet. Not on the East Coast of the good old USA, anyway. So, still no BRAW support. No BRAW support. If you keep asking that same question, I'm not going to put it up. So, I'm also intrigued by the new smooth slow-mo. Should be an improvement over when optical flow chokes on fast-moving objects. Or didn't they have a machine learning version of optical flow last time? Optical flow is so outdated. It's been for a long time. Good to see the updated. There you go. There we go. Don, our friend Don, said news release says Final Cut for iPad releases later this spring, as does the camera app. No release date mentioned at all for the Mac version. So later this spring is only 5 weeks, because summer starts on June the 21st. June the 21st. Enhanced light and color seems to be an updated version of balance color. Okay. Drag and drop effects corrections look like it might also save some time. I have a list for 101 features. It's been on my list for years. Be able to drag from the inspector to the timeline. Mint Mobile commercial. Ben, thank you for telling me the commercials that are playing. I appreciate it because I'm always curious. Official website. Okay, we're not gonna put the B-Raw support comments. We're not going to even mention it anymore. You keep doing the same thing over and over again. Smooth slow-mo looks like the perfect use for AI. I'm curious how it works. The iPad event was not let loose, but let down. I'm definitely not upgrading to save my $1,300 and be happy. Well, here's the thing. My iPad is 4, 5, 6 years old. I have an iPad Air 2 that'll run LumaFusion, but won't run the Final Cut on iPad. I'm way overdue for an iPad. Besides using it for LumaFusion and occasionally for Final Cut, I'll get a 1 month and then unsubscribe, maybe another month. My MacBook Pro is going to be my primary device, but they're really pushing this Final Cut for iPad. It has some really cool features. The ability to write on screen is very cool. So we'll see how that goes. If Apple, Final Cut Pro team, listen, give us the ability to buy a perpetual license for Final Cut for iPad. I would buy that now when I get my Final Cut, when I get my new iPad Pro. But thanks to our friend, who person that said that? Where is that? There it is. Matthew O'Brien says the 1 terabyte model has 16 gigabytes unified memory, 12 gigabyte version only has 8. Thank you for that, because that absolutely what I was looking at. I would definitely get the 1 terabyte version. So somebody keeps over and over again, still no B-Raw support. No, we're not talking about B-Raw support. Period. We're not going to talk about it. You can say as much as you want. But my point is this. My iPad Air is so old. iPad Air 2, it's 4, 5, 6 years old. I'm due for an iPad, new iPad. I want the biggest one, the 13-inch version. I don't need the nano glass, whatever the heck that is. I'll get the 1 terabyte, thanks to our friend Matthew O'Brien, who said you have more RAM with that. I'll get the 1 terabyte. So I'm up to $1,800. By the time I put the pencil in there, it's going to be $2,000. That's okay. That's okay. I have the money for it. Will I get the MacBook Pro M4 version? Have to wait and see on that. Matthew Masters Production says May 13 is rumored drop. Okay, good to know. We're up to 175 live viewers and 44 people with thumbs up. Logic drops the same day. Okay. I complain because Apple moves slow as their prime is to sell hardware, but I do love what we get overall. It's the best ecosystem, hands down. Not always the best apps, but the best platform. Yes, it is the best platform. And have no problem criticizing things about Apple. It's not an issue. Just do it professional. So is there going to be an option for Final Cut Pro to be cloud-based? What advantage would that be? Thank you very much for the thumbs up. The cloud's going to be slower than local. It's just going to be slower. It just can't be as fast. I cannot find anything called Newsroom. Okay, let me, here we go. Let me see what it is. I'll put it up there for you. Let me put it up on screen for you. Hold on 1 second. Add. There it is. Apple.com/newsroom. There's where it is. And it's right on the main page. We're up to 179 live people. We're going to hit over 200. Apple.com. Let me see. Let's do this. Apple.com/newsroom. Right there. Apple.com/newsroom. All right. We got a lot of comments. It says, so Patrick's Masters production says Logic drops May 13. Common Sense says Final Cut Pro will be the same day. Decent update. Hope they are planning a larger strategic update 11 by 2026. You're going to see another update for the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit in November. 46 thumbs up. That's an all-time record as well. Thank you very much. Will there be any bug issues in 10.8 or compatibility problems? Yes. 47, thank you very much. Yes, of course there will be. 185 live viewers. We're going to be on as long as we need to. As long as we need to be on. Take this one off. Add this one on. There we go. 185 live viewers with 49 thumbs up. That's an all-time record for Final Cut for my show. So that's very, very cool. Very, very cool. Yes, there will be compatibility. Duplicate your version of Final Cut in the applications folder before 10.8 drops. Make a duplicate of it, zip it, so you have a copy of 10.7.1 that you can go back to. It's 10.8, just another later in the spring release. They haven't given us a date on that, but the spring is only 5 weeks long. We're May the 7th, and spring is June the 20th or 21st. So within the next 5 or 6 weeks. Normally the update around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is correct. What time is it now? There you go. Let me just keep on checking, and I'll see if it's going to be updated. Today, I'd be surprised if it's updated today, considering that Final Cut for iPad's coming out later in the spring. Final Cut Pro for Mac 10.8 will be available as a free update for existing users and for $299.99 US for new users on the Mac App Store. All new users can download a free 90-day trial. Download the trial. When 10.8 comes out, I think you can also download a trial of that. MacBooks and iPads, well, iPads are way thinner, much lighter, and noticeably longer. Battery life, yes, and a smaller screen. Okay. And once the MacBook Pro gets the M4, it'll have more memory, it'll have more horsepower, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I'm at 64 gigabytes of RAM. I think the iPad's limited to 16. So once the M4 comes to the MacBook Pro, larger screen, more power. It utilizes the M4 chip more. But I'm going to get an iPad Pro. I'm not going to jump on it right now. I don't need it right now. I'll get it when I see it for a good price. Yes, absolutely. You got your Apple iPhone camera app. Yeah, absolutely. It's a pro camera app. Finally. Audio meters, but I hope it has a volume control. I hope you can select an external microphone so I can select my DJI Mic 2s. I don't know why it wouldn't. The reality is the price of the iPad is now at a laptop price, same processor. They haven't converged the apps. Instead, they are diverging. I don't get it. Well, like I said, the MacBook Pro M4 can have a lot more RAM. Probably going to have 228 gigabytes of RAM. The iPad has limited to 16. There's no comparison. Once the M4 hits the MacBook Pro, it's going to be a lot more powerful. Not a lot more. It's going to be more powerful. But that doesn't make any difference. I'm going to get the iPad Pro, and I'll wait. I'm not going to jump on it. Okay, I see sales for the iPad Pro all the time. B&H has a sale. This person has a sale. You get a discount on Apple Pencil. You get the keyboard. I don't want the keyboard. I don't need that unless I really fall in love with the iPad Pro, which could happen. I'm just going to get one when I feel like it. There's no sense in me getting it right now. The line between MacBook and the new M4 iPad Pro for editing is blurred with the ability to edit from a drive. No longer have to import the internal drive, along with the new Magic Keyboard. How do I connect my 64 terabyte RAID 5 to the iPad? Can't do it. You can't do it. You need a driver for that. Nobody's made a driver for the iPad to connect RAIDs. So that's a big thing. How am I going to port my 2000 Final Cut Pro plugins? I'm not rebuying them for the iPad. That ain't going to happen. Those are two big differences. I use lots of third-party plugins for Final Cut Pro. Titles, I customize them, I save them, blah, blah, blah. I connect to my, it's the 64 terabyte RAW, 56 terabyte RAID 5. Can't connect that to the iPad. That's another big thing. But having a nice screen when I'm on the plane going to the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit in November, a bigger screen is really enticing. I can afford the iPad Pro right now, so I'm going to get it. I'm not going to jump out and get it. When I see a sale or they offer Apple Care for a good price with it or something, I'll get it at that point. I'm not going to pay full price for everything. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. Excellent, excellent, excellent. There we go. 195 live viewers right now. Fantastic. We're going to hit 200 live viewers, which is an all-time record for us. Peter says releases next Monday. Do you have a source of that? B-Raw support through B-Raw Toolbox is brilliant. Love working with it. Yes, but it's not native. We need to have it native. Just like motion. I've done some grade school talks about editing. The kids just eat up the touch interface demo with LumaFusion. Yes. Listen, the M4, LumaFusion on the M4 is going to be phenomenal. The new Logic Pro update will be amazing, just like the separation to individual tracks from a band voice memo, for instance. Yes, absolutely. Would be cool if you can use an iPad running Final Cut as an external camera control monitor, Final Cut camera on an iPhone. We'll have to see how that all pans out. Recording internally to the iPhone, not just Final Cut on the iPad. Will we soon see generative AI content soon? We'll have to see. Have to see about that. Thanks for reading all the comments, all the appropriate comments. Should we call the event letdown? It was not good. It was good. It was not a letdown. As a matter of fact, here is for the Final Cut Pro team, both the iPad version and the Final Cut Pro team. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thank you for doing a great job. Yes. Now, I'm not disagreeing. There are scenarios where the form factor of an iPad Pro is way more manageable than a MacBook Pro. Yes. But at this point, the MacBook Pro version of the M4 is going to be more powerful than the iPad version of the M4. I've already mentioned, number one, I can connect to a RAID. Number two is I have 2,000 plugins for Final Cut Pro on the Mac. Where's the plugins for the iPad? They talked about it and it never happened. So, and then the RAID situation, yes. So it depends. Portability, the 13-inch versus the 16-inch, yes. a little bit more portable. I'm going to get one. So obviously I like it. And will I try out Final Cut Pro on the iPad? I'll do the trial, but I'm not going to be paying. Listen, this is to all the app developers out there and Apple Final Cut Pro team, this is what it's like with all the subscriptions. They're all over the place. They're just constant. We're tired of subscriptions. Don't even think about doing Final Cut Pro's subscription model only. Option, I don't care. Only, no. It would be a gigantic mistake. Logic is May 13th, so probably then. There you go. Thank you very much. I think the press release may have been poorly written. 10.8 is probably slated for spring as well. Well, it's spring now. So anytime. Will the camera app running on the iPhone link live into Final Cut Pro on the Mac? We'll have to see, but it would make sense, wouldn't it? You know, just a Wi-Fi connection or Bluetooth connection. I saw in Logic the possibility of separating the voice from the bass guitar. This reminds me of last week's video. Yes, exactly. We can imagine with Final Cut Pro voice background separation. So it wasn't even Fairlight. You can do the isolation in Blackmagic DaVinci Resolve right on the edit page. You don't have to go into Fairlight. Tell me why nano glass is needed. Tell me why it's needed. I don't need it. Tell me why I need it. Maybe you'll change my mind for $100. Yes. Are you surprised they called it Final Cut Camera versus Apple Pro Camera app? Yes, I am. I am very surprised that they tagged it with Final Cut. I am very surprised. 189 viewers. Let's get to 200. Fantastic. I got your B-Raw support right here. Just kidding. Now someone would just give me I'm not sure what that is. Jump on that bandwagon. Just say, want to give me something. Okay. Release for the camera app is next Monday. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. Cloud-based Final Cut Pro would add the benefits of collaboration not to work from a remote server, but it would be slower than working natively. I have a 56 terabyte RAID. I understand there'll be something coming up with that. I'm sure they'll have some kind of collaboration with iCloud just for the project, so not for the media. Yes, I understand that, but I'm not going to store the media in the cloud. Various forums seems a recent macOS update stopped Dropbox from syncing files to your local Mac. Several users who use Dropbox for cloud editing are now hosed. That's what I'm saying. How are you a non-linear editor and we can't get native editing on a codec inside an editor? That's nothing to do with Final Cut. That's to do with Apple and Blackmagic. When they work it out, it'll be there. Until they work it out, it's not going to be there. Yes, backup motion too, absolutely, just to be safe. Will there be an update to the color tools? What kind of an update? I'm impressed they have the new camera app, but still not satisfied with the new Mac update. Better than nothing, but it's not what people are wanting most. Yes, but it's just an incremental update. We have 3 to go before we get to 200 live viewers. We got 100. Oh, there we go. There we go. We just got it. There we go. Fantastic. There we go. Let me just do this. All-time record thanks to you. All-time record thanks to you. 203 live viewers. Fantastic. 55 thumbs up, 1 heart. Very, very cool. Very cool. You're the best. You are the best. You're the best live audience of anybody. any of the Final Cut Pro live. You're the best. 3D art followed by a dot card commercial. Thank you very much. Thumbs up. So Ben is keeping track of the ads that are showing during the live stream. I love this name. Total waste of snakes. The iPad prices seem to stay very consistent. I waited forever to get a deal on my current Air. They very, very cool. Another good point from our friend Brett FX. iPad 4 is just a base M4 as well. Laptop will have Pro, Max, etc. Now listen, Brett, don't talk me out of buying an iPad Pro, okay? I'm pretty well convinced I'm going to get it. Now, I'm not going to get it before WWDC. If they announce the M4 MacBook Pros coming out this fall, I might wait for the M4 MacBook Pro, because it's going to be $6,000 by the time I get what I want. Apparently, you will need an M-powered iPad if you want to use the new live multicam feature with Final Cut camera app, as it doesn't seem to be possible with the desktop version. Okay. We'll have more information coming out over the next couple of days or a week or so. There you go. Yes. Did I see you can connect an SSD via USB-C to the iPad Pro? Yes, you can edit from an external SSD now. You could connect it, but you can edit from it now. That's the main thing. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. If I'm on set with an editor who is using Final Cut and he pushed me a rush on the spot to my iPad with the director, brilliant. iPads on set are invaluable. Yes. This is the best comment so far. No matter what happens, there's never been a better time to be a content creator, filmmaker, and editor ever. Absolutely. You get the accolades for the best comment so far today. That's a great comment. Absolutely. Nano glass reduces glare from light sources, period. That doesn't interest me for $100. Somebody might convince me, but it doesn't interest me for $100. Will Final Cut camera be free? Yes. Yes, it's free for everybody. Nothing to do with Final Cut. You don't need a copy of Final Cut. You don't need a copy of Final Cut for iPad. It's free for people that own an iPhone and an iPad. Naming the layers, absolutely. That's a big one. Huge one. Nah, it's a big deal. Now, it's I'm not sure you mean B-raw. It's not for Final Cut users. Would I like to see it? Of course I'd like to see it. But it's between Apple and Blackmagic to work that out. They have to work out whatever issues they have, why it's not been available. So fantastic. Here's something else. 1 terabyte also has 1 core more than on the CPU 9 versus 10. There you go. If I go to get it, it's going to be the 1 terabyte. I'm probably going to get it because that'll be fine. I'm not going to rush into it. I don't have to rush. I'll wait till WWDC to see what else they're bringing out with the M4. Everything's going to have M4 going forward, just about. DaVinci and Color Finale have log wheel tools. Will Final Cut Pro get log wheel tools also? Put a request in to the Final Cut Pro team. Sorry I asked about live streaming, but had stepped away when you answered. Maybe. Who in the heck knows? Mobile filmmaking is real, and Apple is clearly aiming at this kind of user. Absolutely. I appreciate you. I appreciate you too. We're up to 204 live viewers right now. Speaking of 204 live viewers, let me play a video from the last episode of Final Cut TV Live. Let me play this video real quick. We got a phone call from somebody about this Apple event. This is from last week. Hello. Yes, this is Richard. Yes, we are live. Yeah, we're live. Of course, you're calling the live show. What are you? Yes, we're live. We're live right now. I won't say who this is. Okay, you're calling the anonymous tip line, the anonymous Phonica Pro tip line. That's what you called. You have this number. This is not my cell phone. This is the Phonica Pro anonymous tip line. I'm not going to say who you are. Don't worry about it. That's not going to happen. So what you wanted to comment about the event on Tuesday and what's going to happen with Phonica Pro? Really? See, that's what I thought. That's what I thought was going to happen. That's what I thought. I'm not going to say anything. You can tell me it's going in one ear and it's staying in my head. It's not going out the other ear. It's staying right in my head. What else can you tell me about that event? There's something happening. Well, I know that. iPad Pro, look, we know about the iPad Pro. It's got a larger screen. It's got the M4 chip. Well, that would be interesting. There's a reason why you're having an event and not just doing a press conference. I mean, not just doing a press release. You did a press release for the MacBook Air in March, nothing in April, and now you're coming back in May, which is also a very first. You don't do many events in May, right? You don't do many events in May. If maybe this is the second time, and there is going to be AI, yeah, of course, we know that. But what's really? Well, that's certainly interesting. I look forward to the event on Tuesday. I mean, I'm excited regardless of what you told me about Final Cut. I'm excited regardless of that. But on top of that, if there's an update to Final Cut Pro, extraordinary. Extraordinary. As a matter of fact, let's do this. Okay. Well, that's phenomenal. Phenomenal. You can call back anytime. We're live on the air, and I'm not going to say who it is. Not going to say who it is. But I appreciate that you called in. Yes, I realize that. I appreciate that you called in, and you can call back anytime, Tim. Thanks for calling in. Bye. So that was our phone call last Saturday talking about this event that happened today. That was it. Listen, I'm excited. I'm excited. The camera app was unexpected. That's fantastic. The iPad, Final Cut 2 for the iPad looks really cool. You can now edit from external devices. I'm not going to subscribe to the iPhone, to Final Cut on the iPad. I'll try the trial, and I might get it for 1 month at a time. I'll pay the $5 for this month and I'll unsubscribe for a couple months. It's not going to be as powerful as my MacBook Pro. That's just the way it is. But I'm going to get one between now and the fall. I'm excited for people that take advantage of mobile multicam workflow. I love multicam, but I've invested too much in actual cinema cameras to be interested. And that's completely understandable. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We have 210 people watching live right now, which is fantastic. 210. 210. Fantastic. Nope, I don't want that there. Let's do this. All-time record. It's an all-time record for Final Cut TV, as you know. That's a lot of people watching live. We have 60 thumbs up. Fantastic. So, I was not expecting, it seems, I'm going to do a comparison between the updates to Final Cut Pro on the Mac and the updates to Final Cut on the iPad. But it seems, I don't think any of these updates, Final Cut 2 for the iPad and Final Cut 10.8 for the Mac, have any of the same features, do they? The update features are completely different. They're completely different from one to the other. It seems like they're diverging, not staying in sync with each other. We'll have to see if that continues to be the case. But that's what it seems like to me from the outside. Now we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait till we get. We'll have to wait till we get. I don't want that. Why is that coming up? We'll have to wait till we get it actually in our hands. But it seems like next week's a good time to get all the updates, Logic and stuff. Now, am I going to get Logic on the iPad? No way. No way am I going to get Logic on the iPad. Just don't want it, don't need it. I use it on my Mac. I have sample libraries. I have 250 gigabytes of drums and stuff. There's no way I'm putting that on the iPad. Well, I can't anyway. I cannot anyway. So that's not going to happen. Let me just check here real quick. Where is the iPad? Where's my notes? Where are my notes? All right, let me do this. 200, how many people do we have now? Show quick access overlay. I don't think I want that. I don't think I want that. Fantastic. Up the price $500 to $1,000 on the buying it outright. IDC as long as it isn't subscription only. No, it's too much. $299 is a good price point. And you can say for this price, you get 2 years of updates, 3 years, 5 years of updates. At the end of that, we'll look at it again and see what we have as far as how we're going to do the, going forward. Nobody in a professional setting objects when Final Cut Pro 11 comes out if they charge again for that. We've had 13 years of free updates if you bought the original version, which I did. 13 years of free updates. That's plenty. We don't mind helping the Final Cut Pro team get some more money into their coffers as long as Apple doesn't take it. As long as Apple doesn't take it. Let me see what's going on here. Let me just try something. Okay, good. Good. That's what I want. I'm just adjusting my Clean Shot X settings. So, fantastic. I do want to mention people that helped me get to NAB this year because I had a really, really good time at NAB. These are my sponsors. Hedge for video, Future Media Conferences, LumaTouch. Big fans of LumaTouch. I'll be excited to get LumaTouch and really be able to run it full horsepower on my new iPad Pro. And our good friend Roger Bolton over there at CoreMelt. Roger's such a good friend. He didn't even go to NAB, and he still sponsored Final Cut TV to go to NAB. That's how good a person he is. And I won't forget it. We'll be having Roger on the show. He has some things to announce, and we'll get him back on the show at that point. All righty. Fantastic. This is a great episode. Probably one of the best I've ever had. 213 live viewers right now. 213 live viewers. All-time record, of course. What else do we have about Final Cut Pro? So here's my opinion. I think that the Final Cut Pro update for the iPad, well, both of them are really good. Okay, both of those updates are really good. They're different, which is interesting to me. Very, very interesting. Let me see if I can, let me just pull this up and make sure they don't sneak an update out on us. I don't see one. I do not see one. What the heck is that? Wait a minute. Compare and sync folders. Permute 3. Huh. Oh, that's because I'm on the different operating system. That's why that is. That's why that is. Let me see what's going on over there at yes. So we've been talking about the scrolling timeline button for months, since last September, since last November. When I saw the icon at the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit, I kept questioning why it wasn't in the timeline space bar, and they put it in there now. So you have an option to put it in. You have an option to turn the scrolling timeline on and off, which I said, you know, I've been talking about it since the Creative Summit last year. Well, it's finally there. Apple's proposals seem very product-oriented. ProRes multicam on iPhone. I hope they don't forget mobile journalists. Capture, edit, stream, transmit. These solutions could appeal another audience, but they have the app for mobile journalists and stuff. Roger is a friend. He is a hardworking guy, really smart and super nice. Thumbs up to Roger and Cormelt. Absolutely. Thumbs up to Roger and Cormelt. Absolutely. I'll be having Roger on the show shortly. Is it a release date for the Mac version? We're going to presume it's going to come out probably the same time the iPad version, which looks like it's going to be next week. Mobile journalists, Final Cut for iPad, Final Cut camera, they're very focused on. Yes, they are, which is interesting. And I'm glad, because I'm a mobile filmmaker. One of the Cinedy did an article. They interviewed me for NAB. My friend Ruben Evans interviewed me for NAB, and let me pull that up. That was a real nice thing he did. Let me just pull that up real quick, because he let me just hold on one second. This morning I said, is today Tuesday? Here we go. Turn that out. So this is our friend. You know what? MacBook web video. Let me try this, see if this works. No, buy me a coffee. Here's, you can buy me a coffee. Anybody that went to, I made a bet that we would have this happen this week. Let me just pull this up there. Hold on a second. So let me turn this on. So here's the deal. Over at Cinedy, our friend Ruben Evans interviewed me for NAB, and he what did he, oh, wait a minute. You know what? It's on someplace else. Well, anyway, he called me something to do with reporter for NAB. Yes. Anyway, I'll look at that. It was just a comment about mobile journalism. So yeah, I do reporting when I go places. I interview people. I interviewed Grant Petty last time. Anybody, that's what I do. I report from these live events. I also do tutorials. I wonder what cameras Final Cut Pro will support. Next week, can you play a clip of yourself watching yourself on a clip? I already did that. Didn't I just do that? No one is interested. Andrew Clark says no one's interested in the Motion 5 update. I got my hands full with these two. I had Final Cut Pro since 2013. I don't support any subscription, no matter what company it is. So Push Blocks, would you support paying for a new version of Final Cut Pro as a standalone? I'm more interested in Motion than 5 than Final Cut Pro. That's fine, but this is Final Cut TV. We concentrate on Final Cut stuff. Nothing wrong with Motion 5, but it's really not. In 13 years, the updates have been minuscule compared to Final Cut Pro. Automatic subtitles, that's what I really need. This software is so far behind DaVinci Resolve. We get those comments all the time. I'm not going to disagree with you. I expect more frequent updates with new features consistently to merit a buy. Once a price yes. No, I'm not saying buy it. I'm not saying pay for 10.8 from 10.7. No, that's not enough. I'm saying when they get when they get Final Cut Pro 11, brand new app, built from the ground up, all these new features, blah, blah, blah. Professionals are not going to mind paying that one-time price rather than subscription. I'm just saying, rather than subscriptions, they got to be supported somehow, right? Look at this. 220 live viewers, 62 thumbs up, and the top of my head. There we go, top of my head. Fantastic. 220, it's all-time record. Yes, I agree with that. Absolutely. I expect more frequent updates with new features. Absolutely. We're in agreement there. Total agreement. Was there mention of if the new Final Cut 2 will still run on Air 5th generation M1? Don't know. I do not know. Coffee's strong enough to wake up my ancestors. I'd love an AI feature that lets me find a repeated movement, like every time the talking head looks down at his notes and place a marker at their spots, but I'm probably the only one that needs that. Motion has been so slow to evolve, no one expects it any longer. Well, here's the thing. Oh, FCC's Final Cut Camera, not Final Cut Pro. Sorry. I thought you just mistyped. No, it's not that Motion's not good, but they haven't, it's $50 compared to $300, and they haven't updated Motion very much. The Motion people would really like to see it updated more, but it's not been updated that much. It would be cool if Final Cut Camera could receive a signal from a wireless video transmitter, such as a Hollywood Mars, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that would be cool. They have to see what happens with that. Fantastic. Got to switch I have different screens here. There we go. We're up to 226 live viewers. I'm excited about the camera app. I can't say enough about it. I'm excited about the new iPad version, Final Cut 2. It looks like they're really advancing. I mean, first off, you can write on the screen, which I really, really like. So, will I spend $2,000 on a new iPad Pro? Yeah, I will with the pencil. Not getting the keyboard. I don't care about that. I can use my existing keyboard, right? When I need it. I can use this one, Bluetooth keyboard, with the iPad Pro, I think, correct? I'm not going to spend $350 on a keyboard, especially it doesn't have numeric keypad. Especially it doesn't have numeric keypad. Fantastic. Fantastic. I'm excited. Let me, wow. Are we going to hit 300 viewers, live viewers? We got 229 right now. I have to see. I'd be really pleasantly surprised if we hit 300. Do you want me to repeat anything, people that are just tuning in? Let me just pull up some stuff here. Prenom Nam. Final Cut camera is just a camera. For Mojo, I look at the something example, which contains all the tools in a single application to take into account European broadcast formats. Yeah, that's true. I mean, but it's a step up from the native camera app. That's what we're excited about. Because I use a native camera app 50, 60, 70% of the time because I'm on the run and I can switch cameras. The Blackmagic camera app is fantastic. If I'm set up on a tripod and I'm doing a regular shoot, fantastic. I will not support Filmic Pro, by the way. Yes, NDI or similar would be awesome, although it would be integrated into the main app just as well to avoid another hoop. We need a list of cameras the Final Cut Pro app supports, yes. Probably iPhone 15 Pro, 13 Pro, 14 Pro, 15 Pro, I would think. Congrats, Richard, 100 minutes. Live stream about Final Cut Pro, fantastic. Hey, what differences between Final Cut Pro camera from Blackmagic camera? We don't have it yet, but for one of the things, the Blackmagic camera has more manual controls, more automatic controls, and the Blackmagic camera app, I love Apple ProRes Log on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. It's my favorite codec to record in. On the native camera app, you can only record in ProRes HQ, I think. That's the only flavor you can record Apple ProRes Log. And the Blackmagic camera app, you can record all flavors of ProRes, ProRes Proxy, ProRes LT, ProRes Regular, plus the higher quality, and you can record ProRes Log in H.264 and H.265 in the Blackmagic camera app. We don't know, we don't have our hands on the Apple Final Cut camera app yet. We don't know what additional features it has, but it has audio meters, which is a step up, but I want to see the ability to record to use an external microphone, not just the built-in camera microphones, and perhaps a volume slider for that. Maybe some other options, choose 16-bit or 24-bit, stuff like that for audio. Yes, you can use your existing keyboard and trackpad. Trackpad for moving the cursor from your Mac to the iPad, the keyboard for writing on the Mac. Keyboard and trackpad. Trackpad for moving. Okay, that's good to know. Camera support, they said iPhone and other cameras. Huh. So you mean, I don't mean Android, do you? Really? Typically, when you connect a video transmitter to an iPhone, iPad, it takes over the Wi-Fi and not connect to another device or router. So maybe it's not using Wi-Fi. Maybe there's a proprietary connection or a Bluetooth connection. So I edit, there have been third-party apps doing this, so yeah, it's been possible for a while. Each iPhone, iPad only needs to talk to one device, not all of the other devices. I don't know how that works. Oh, like, yeah, you're right. My Lumix S5 Mark IIX has Bluetooth Wi-Fi connectivity. So maybe, I see what you're saying, maybe it'll work with them, but I'm not sure how an app on the iPhone, but what to see. Have to see how that works. All right, we got 234 people watching live right now, which is fantastic. Fantastic. 234. 64 thumbs up. You people are the best Final Cut Pro live audience of anybody. The best, absolutely the best. But we also want to thank the Final Cut Pro team for giving us these very, very cool updates. But we want to keep the pace up, please. Please keep the pace up. Final Cut Pro team. So, I am expecting an announcement about Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. Not in May, maybe something in June. I mean, I'm going to probably find out what's going on roughly since I'm a media sponsor, but I would never say anything before Future Media Conferences says something. But I'm expecting Final Cut Pro Creative Summit in November 2024. I'm expecting it perhaps to be back at the Juniper Hotel. That would be a nice bonus. The Juniper Hotel was perfect for the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. As far as an outsider is concerned, I'm not involved with the inside, shenanigans going on. But one of the things is they have to deal with Apple. Getting Apple to commit to like a weekend 6 months ahead of time, I'm sure, is a challenge. Okay? If you notice, the last time it's on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's the first time it's been that way. In order to go to Apple Park, apparently, Monday is the time when the fewest people are in Apple Park, the employees, because they're working from home. So I think that's why we got there on a Monday. It might happen again. For example, Panasonic has an app to control all their DSR cams from an iPhone. Yes, you're absolutely correct. Correct. However, I'm talking about connecting to more than one device at a time. Motion and Final Cut Pro basically get updated in parity where applicable. Color, 3D text, etc. There have been a number of motion effects added that still haven't made it to Final Cut Pro. Yeah, but the amount of updates to Final Cut Pro from 10.0 to 10.8, if you looked at all the different features, motion is way, 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 way lower. The amount of updates to motion, but it's only a $50 app. They're not going to spend nearly as much time. Final Cut Pro is the main Pro update. I would say Logic would be the second Pro update. We're not talking about a video transmitter being connected. Proprietary hardware, Wi-Fi or Bluetooth are very different dynamics and abilities. Sorry, retired IT engineer. Are you sorry that you're a retired IT engineer? I'm just joking. I'm just kidding. I know what you mean. Yeah, so let me see what else we have here going on. Let's go over there and see what's going on over there at X. Yep, we already talked about the scrolling timeline button. We've been talking about that for months since the Creative Summit when I saw it there. I'm a very sorry retired IT engineer. Should have spent those years doing music or video. I hated it. Okay. I hope your employer's not watching or former employer's not watching. As a musician, I'm super excited about the Logic update, chord track, AI piano, bass alongside current drummer app. Hopefully, that's available on the Mac version. I'm not getting Logic on the iPad. I'm not going to pay for that subscription. Final Cut, I'll go on and off. I'll keep it for a month and then turn it off for a month. The good thing about subscriptions on the Mac is you can do your subscriptions on the iPhone. Turn them on and off. It's drop dead simple. You just go to your iCloud account, go to subscriptions, and you can turn them on and off. It's really, really cool. Not just Apple subscriptions. Any subscription that you get through the iPhone, you can turn on and off. And I do it every time. I meant you can use the keyboard to write on the iPad when you have moved the cursor to, oh, I see, the iPad. You can use Sidecar if you want dual screen with Final Cut Pro, you can use them separately. No, I just meant, I presumed a keyboard, I can use a keyboard, existing keyboard with my iPad. I'm not going to pay $350 for a separate one. I'm not going to use it that much. Yes, it's available for the Mac. It's called Final Cut Logic Pro 11. No, not 11. Really? Logic Pro 11? I don't think so. It's at 10.8. Did they update Logic Pro to 11? No. Let me pull up the App Store. Now you got me thinking. Wow. Let me see. Let me just do a search here. Yeah, no, Logic Pro's at 10.8. You mean to tell me that they've updated Logic Pro to 11? I don't think so. I've got an IT degree as well and have tested this. I have a video showing this issue on my page. Red, connecting to an Apple Vision Pro, you lose the internet connection, okay? Okay, I have to go to work that pays my bills. Now, y'all have fun. Everybody have a good week. Thanks for tuning in, Ben, as usual. When I found DaVinci, it was at version 12.5. The free version has enough to instantly decide it's worth $300. Buy it on an B&H ASAP. Wow. Wow, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You have got to be kidding me. You are absolutely correct. Logic has been updated to version 11. Logic has been updated to version 11. That is something I completely missed. Wait a minute. What the heck is going on here? I got to put that up on. Hold on one second. Bear with me. That is amazing. You caught that. So Logic Pro has been updated to version 11. That means Final Cut is going to go from probably 10.8 to 11 as well. Now, let's go over here and look at this a second. because, look, Logic Pro for, let's do it this way. This is a better way. I like this better. Okay, hold on a second. Web video, here we go. I'm going to take this off. Take that off. I'm just doing, hold on a second. Let me just do this. I like this better interactive-wise on the screen. So Logic Pro, let me pull my. Logic Pro takes music with, look at this. Logic Pro for the Mac 11. Now here's the interesting thing. It says Logic Pro for iPad 2 and Logic Pro for Mac will be available in the App Store starting Monday, May 13th. It does not say Logic Pro for the Mac 11 will be free. It does not say it will be free. Not that I've seen. Let's see if it stays down here somewhere about it. We could presume it's going to be free. Let's see if that's actually the case. Here we go. Oh, it is a free update. Logic Pro for the Mac 11 is available May 3rd as a free update for existing users. Logic Pro free update for existing users. Fantastic. Fantastic. Get the heck out of here. Updated. So Logic Pro is 11. Now, can we take that over to Final Cut Pro 11? Can we take that over to Final Cut Pro 11? Wow. Fantastic. I am amazed at this update. This is incredible. Final Cut Pro 11, Logic Pro 11 is going to be updated and it's free for existing users. So that, can we extrapolate that to Final Cut Pro 11 and it's going to be free for existing users? Fantastic. I have a question. What color profile display we need to use on Mac, iMac, MacBook, and Final Cut Pro, which switch from one to the other Luma changes? Thank you. I don't know. I do not know that. No, it's 10.8.1. Logic Pro for the Mac is 11 coming out. At this Apple Newsroom, it's definitely 11. Congratulations to I'm a big Logic user, so I spend my time with editing. Final Cut Pro, LumaFusion, DaVinci Resolve. Now I'm going to have Final Cut for the iPad a little bit. I use Logic as my second all the time. I use Logic all the time, so I'm very excited about that. So yeah, it's the one that's Ben is the one that's coming out. It's not the one that's out yet. And Logic, we have a release date May the 13th. That's correct. May 11th, May 13th, sorry. Yes, free at the bottom. Yep. Chroma Glow only on M series chips. Well, I think at this point, most things that the advanced things are going to be M series chip only. And splitter 2 M only. That makes sense. Well, I guess I'm saying since Logic Pro 11 is free for existing users, I think they're going to do exactly the same thing with Final Cut. Final Cut 11 is going to be free for existing users. Stem Splitter, another M series chip only feature. Ben says, yes, Richard, you're reading my comments really far behind. Send them faster. Send your comments faster, Ben. I'm not reading them behind. I'm reading them as they come up on the screen. Send them faster. Send them into the future, and I'll read them when they're appropriate. We got 233 live viewers, an all-time record for Final Cut TV. And don't forget, we're not done yet, but don't forget Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock, Final Cut TV and coffee. So Matthew says 11 is huge news. 11 for free for existing users is huge because I think you can extrapolate that over to Final Cut Pro 11. That's why. Okay, send them faster. Okay, God, I should have thought about that already. Absolutely. So, I'm just going to check here. So we're going to, next week, we'll probably get these updates coming through. I have to be careful when I click on your comment because right next to the comment is a ban button where I can ban people who misbehave. Ban them from my YouTube channel. By the way, anybody on X watching, send a comment. I don't know if I've got any Facebook. Yeah, there's a Facebook. There's a Facebook comment. I don't see any X comments. If you're watching over there on X, send me a comment. Let me see. X home. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Broadcasts. So we have a lot of people watching over on X. 285 people have seen it so far. Let me see. If this works. Let me do this. See, this is what I don't understand. I don't know why comments are not coming through from X. I don't know if I'm in the right place. That's the problem. I don't know. But I don't see any comments coming over from X. If you're watching over on the X platform, shoot me a comment or two so I can see if everything's working okay. What is text-based timeline search? I'm not sure. It's have to do with transcriptions? I don't know. I don't know. Let's watch this for a second. There's some birds. Birdie birds. So, he says text-based timeline search on Final Cut update. I don't know what that is yet. Your grass is looking great. Thank you very much. Do you have a zero-turn mower? Absolutely. Absolutely. I love my zero-turn. I have a Cub Cadet 50-inch zero-turn. It's fantastic. Logic actually has a release date of Monday listed. Yes. The Timeline Index offers the ability to search for and navigate to clips with missing media or effects, and text-based timeline search now includes information like reel, scene, camera angle, and some other stuff. Very cool. Hopefully they will have XML parity between Logic and Final Cut Pro from now on, as they are mentioning XML sharing between Final Cut Pro and Logic on the Logic page. Well, yeah, parity is the problem. It's not parity. The Logic's version of Final Cut of the XML was always behind Final Cut by a couple of version numbers. We'll have to see how that works. So let's expect these updates to come next week. Final Cut Pro 10.8 sounds really, really cool. Absolutely. All right. Let me just check a couple more things. At the end of the day, launching a brand new app called Final Cut Camera is a good sign for the future of Final Cut Pro. It's a good sign. It's really like the Pro Camera app is what it is. The Pro version of the native camera app for the iPhone and iPad. See, I still don't, this is always confusing the heck out of me. Let me, related posts, let me see what's going on here. Now, let me just check on something. Streaming. Home, Twitter. Yes. Let me go over here while I have everybody. So if you go over to, I just want to show you, people ask me all the time if the Final Cut Pro teams, well, actually, let me just do this. Copy. Once again, I keep doing it the old-fashioned way. Let me do here, sponsors, web video. And we're going to turn that off, and we're going to take this and put it here. Okay, now look, this is what I wanted to show you. My website, fcpx.tv, the longest running Final Cut Pro website in history. Final Cut Pro 10 website in history. Go to top requests one time. Oh, I got to turn this on, interactiveness on. Go to top requests. This is the list for Final Cut Pro. So the top of the list was been a scrolling timeline. Finally, they got it. But look at these other features that they took off the list today. Not got a mixer yet. Text-based editing, nope, haven't got that yet. Clip logger, nope, don't have that. B-raw support, don't have that. Color improvements. Rename color adjustments in the inspector. Okay? That's one thing off the list. I'll have to cross that off the list. Now, here's another one they took off the list today. Where is this? Here. Drag a customized effect from the inspector to a clip or selected timeline in the timeline or events browser. Two things they've taken off the list. Two things they've taken off. This is the list. Yes, they have seen this. Absolutely, they've seen this list. And they cross things off the list on a constant basis. Smooth slow-mo on Final Cut Pro for Mac should be interesting to use. So when you're talking about Final Cut for the iPad, Final Cut for the Mac, there's a lot of things that make them different. Final Cut for the iPad, or the iPad Pro has an M4 chip, but it's not going to have an M4 Pro Max Extreme chip. I think it's limited to 16 gigabytes of RAM, and the cores are limited. On the MacBook Pro, when it comes out, probably going to have 120 gigabytes of RAM. It can't connect to my RAIDs. There's no RAID drivers for Final Cut for iPad. Final Cut 2 for iPad. So I can't connect to my massive storage. I have thousands, literally thousands of plugins for Final Cut Pro. I'm not going to buy them again for the iPad. Plus, they're not even available. These are the differences between the iPad and the Final Cut and the Mac Pro version or the Mac version. But the iPad version of Final Cut, I have to say, is looking better and better. This version 2 looks really, really cool. Yeah, I saw that. Dylan basically, he thinks Final Cut Pro has a captions feature based on screenshot on his Twitter. I saw that. Did they write something new today, but the XML support are already from before? Icon on the screenshot, I should say. Yeah, I saw that. Maybe. Looks like something's happening with captions, but I think that's the iPad version, right? Everybody's going through everything now. We'll have to find out when we get I am really surprised, pleasantly, that Logic 11 has been announced and it's free for existing users. Free for existing users. Now, Logic is $199, Final Cut Pro is $299, Motion is $49, Compressor is $49, and I'm not sure what Live Stage, that might be $49. So the total of them up is $500. If you're a student, you get all 5 of those Pro apps for $199. It's worth going to college, or if you're in high school, for $199 rather than $500. Just saying. $228 people are watching us live. Fantastic. Let me just do something here. Now let's go over here.
Can I get a picture with you?
Yeah, no problem.
And by the way, fantastic
This is from
keynote
NAB?
Friday.
Oh, thanks.
Absolutely fantastic. It was over 2 hours long.
Yeah, it was really long.
I
With
love
Grant
Resolve
Petty?
19.
It just got longer, and it's like, well, what do? You kind of cut so much out that you don't make any sense.
Right.
It's a bit tough to know how much to cut out, but
Great
you know,
job.
I'm glad it was useful. Like, that's the thing. I always think that, like, I've just sort of deliver all the detail, and some of it's good. Most of it's good, you hope. Sometimes there's some caveats or not bad things, but like, no, it can do this or can't do that. I reckon if you just get all the information out there, and everyone else can kind of work out, oh, yeah, okay, that's important, that fixes that, or this is that. You don't quite know. Like, when I was an engineer working in post, you kind of just tell people what's going on, and then they kind of know whether it's good or not. I don't actually, like, I'm hoping it's good. Like, we're going to find out pretty quickly if it's not.
Oh, sure.
Like, the replay stuff, I'm nervous as hell about the replay.
Is that right?
I've used it, and so I'm thinking it's good, but you don't know until guys are off. Even last night, I thought of a new way of doing, like, using it.
Sure.
So every time you use it, you go, oh, why aren't I doing this? I should be using an endpoint for that.
Sure.
So it's just a lot of reiteration. And being in DaVinci, it's good because it means we can keep changing it. But that's what makes me always nervous coming to the start of the show.
No.
If someone comes up and goes, oh, but you didn't do this. It's like, oh, God, I forgot to put, like, how could I be so stupid not to think of that?
No, I understand.
But that's the reality of coming here, isn't it?
Resolve 19 is fantastic.
I know.
So that was Grant Petty interview that I did at NAB. I happened to run into him. So that was exciting. I'm looking forward to the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit in November, probably. Nobody's made any announcement yet. This is just me speculating, just the way I speculated that there was going to be Final Cut for iPad update today, a big one, and Final Cut Pro update, also a big one announced today. So who else is getting an iPad Pro? Just me? Am I the only person getting an iPad Pro? Tell me about it. There we go. I'm excited about the iPad Pro. I didn't think I was going to be, but I am. Well, I wasn't sure if I was going to be. I didn't know for a fact. You know what? I didn't do something, and I should have done that. Let me do that right now. Didn't seem to be much problem, but anyway. I forgot to do one of my settings that I normally do, but now it's back to normal. Am I the only person getting an iPad Pro that's watching? 233 people are watching. 233 people are watching. Excellent. Excellent. So because of the listeners, if I get an iPad Pro, it's going to be the 1 terabyte version because that has the one more core, but it has twice the RAM as the 512, which is what I was wondering about. So if I do get an iPad Pro, and I probably am going to, it's time. It's time. Let me see if I can go over there and find a way to notifications. Let me see something here. Verified. Home. Let me see. Why can't I? Let me see something here. I am just trying to find out. Let me go over here, streaming. Backup. Oh, here we go. Let's see if this is it. Oh, look at that. That's the old thing. This is what I don't get. I just don't know how to get to my stream. I just don't know how to get to my stream. So let's go over here to Black one time. Let's go over here to black. Hold on a second. Here is a picture of the iPhone camera. Turn myself on there. Oops, didn't want to do that. Wait a minute. Hold on one second. Circle. There we go. And I want to border width. There we go. So this is the iPhone camera interface. So it has 4K HDR ProRes. I'm not sure what, this is the multi-camera, I guess. Those little icons over there. Little icons over there, the multi-camera. This, I can drag myself around right there. Multi-camera. The lenses, of course, manual focus. I don't see what else is happening there. Let's see that. All right, let's do this. This is the timeline index. This is where we see the scrolling timeline. Right above there. There's the scrolling timeline icon right above there. So that's new. Now, let's see what else we have. Let's see what else we have. This is custom speed, clip quality. I'm not sure. That's supposed to be, well, let's just go over here. These are the new features over here for the enhanced light and color. Those are all the features over there. Whole bunch of good stuff. Whole bunch of good stuff. Let's get back to some comments here. I'm jumping on really quick to mention that in Apple's official email that I just received about what was announced today, nothing about Final Cut Pro Logic, so I hope that means there are just many more updates they'll reveal to us when they officially release Logic 11 and Final Cut Pro 10, just my suspicion. Yeah, there's not, they haven't got a list of anything. Nothing's been updated yet, but so I suspect that's the case. Just got a brand new M2 iPad Pro, so if I did get upset, I'd be upset, but if it was just what it is, so unless they give me my money back. No, you have 2 weeks. You can take it back to Apple. You can take, if you got a brand new M2 iPad Pro within the last 2 weeks, you can take it back. Absolutely. And get the M4, if that's what you want. Absolutely. We got 232 people watching. I want to give you all accolades. Absolutely. Absolutely. Fantastic. What else do we got? I don't know. Let me see something here. Just checking on a couple of things. I just don't understand how to comment on the live video. It's so bizarre. Let me see if my post is on there. So there'll be a lot of stuff coming out over the next couple of days, weeks for people maybe who already have it. I hope they enhance the color grading tools a bit. What would you like to see? What would you like to see enhanced? What would you like to see enhanced? All righty. Live on X. Let me see something. Here we go. Yeah, we got here. Now, let me see if I can. Here we go. See, what is that? Okay, broadcast. I have to go to broadcast. That's the deal. Here we go. I'm going to pull this right at the top. Say something. X test. Now it's going to come through. There it is. There it is. Now I got my first X comment. It's so bizarre that I can't find that. 203 people watching over there on X. That's a lot of people on X. So now let me see if that works. Broadcast. Let me see. Yes. I don't understand why there's no place on the sidebar for broadcast. Let me see. Yeah, and it doesn't even see my name in the broadcast. It just has a bunch of numbers. So, I don't understand. I don't understand how you do it, but I finally got there. I figured it out and got there. Any other questions? 234 people watching live right now. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. All-time record, absolutely. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're the best. Don't forget, we're back here on cancel. 71 thumbs up. Can you beat that? No. Top of my head. I'm going to do the top of my head. There we go. Move that down. Go over to black. Thank you very much. And we're going to turn off that, and then we're going to put this up there. This is fantastic. 234 people, 71, 73 thumbs up at this point. Fantastic. Don't forget to go over there and subscribe. Don't forget to go over there and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Turn this off, turn this off, turn this on. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe over there in the YouTube channel, 73. Voice isolation makes it to Final Cut Pro for the iPad. Does the iPad version of Final Cut have a scrolling timeline yet? Because it did not have one before. I was out of the studio all day, and this is the day when Apple releases a big update. Dang, our friend Eric Lenz. Absolutely, Eric. It's big update. Final Cut 2 for the iPad. An update for Logic Pro on the iPad. Logic Pro 11, Eric. Logic Pro 11 has been announced. They jumped from 10.8 to 11. Free update for existing users. So probably Final Cut's going to follow suit. Rename color adjustments. I think a tear just rolled down my face. What? Yes. Final Cut Pro 11 is coming out next week. Free update for not Final Cut 11. Logic, not Final Cut 11. Logic Pro 11 has been announced for next week. They went from 10.8 to 11. It's a free update for existing Logic Pro users. Free update. That's the backyard here at Final Cut TV. Our friend Eric says, thanks for the heads up. Might as well watch the event later. These features are not mentioned in the event. These features are mentioned on this broadcast because we've been on for 2 years. I mean, for 2 hours. 2 hours and 2.5 hours right now. So here's the big features, Eric. Yes, you can name your color sections now, whatever they are. You can drag an effect from the inspector to clips in the timeline, or you can drag an effect from the inspector to browser clips. Those are two big things that have been on my list for a long time. So, third-party content, here come the plugins. I hope so. But I guess the interesting thing is that we're up to 235 viewers. I love Ben. Ben is telling me what the commercials are that he's seeing. I'm back. Sherwin-Williamson's some portable air pump commercial greeted me. Yay. Thank you. I love that you're telling me what, because I'm watching it on my end and I don't see any commercials, I guess because I'm the owner. Final Cut Pro for Mac, 10.8 requires Mac OS to 13.5 or later, 8 gigs of RAM, metal-capable graphics card, and 6.5 gig available of disk space. Absolutely. Absolutely. This has been a great day. I'm an old TV producer. I know this commercial sort of like a birth defect. No, I like knowing what people are seeing as far as commercial goes. An audio meter when recording audio. Final Cut Pro catches up to iMovie. Final Cut Pro has an audio meter now. You're talking about the camera. Final Cut camera has audio meters, yes. Thank you for the custom rundown. Appreciate your service. Haha. We've been on for 2 hours and 30 minutes. We have 230 people watching live right now. It's fantastic. This is probably going to knock me, 239 people watching live. This is probably going to knock me over. I'm up to almost 500,000 views on YouTube. I never really thought I was going to stick around on YouTube, but it's working really well. So I'm going to get my first check from YouTube. Today's broadcast is probably going to be the one that knocks me over. So that's fantastic. 239 people watching live right now. Phenomenal. So let's do that. Turn that off. We're going to stay on. We're going to keep on talking about Final Cut Pro. I'm surprised that Logic Pro is going from 8 to 11. Now, here's the other thing. So Final Cut Pro, Legacy Final Cut Pro 7 was at 7.0.3, and it jumped to Final Cut Pro 10. Now, Logic has jumped from Final Cut Pro 10.8 to 11. It was 10.8.1, and it jumped from Final Cut Pro 10.8 to 11. So I'm expecting Final Cut to do the same thing. Final Cut Pro 10.8, I'm expecting it to jump to 11. And Logic is free. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. Logic is free. Final Cut, 11 probably is going to be free. Why not? If Logic is, Final Cut is. That's what I'm saying. No subscription. Thank you very much. No subscription. And listen, we definitely want this. Final Cut Pro team, they watch this broadcast. Goes to the Final Cut Pro team. Absolutely. You did a great job today. Is everybody going to be satisfied? Of course not. They are never going to be satisfied. Final Cut Pro, no Final Cut Pro update in the world would ever satisfy everybody. Where's the telepathic interface? Shouldn't we have that by now? Wasn't it your conspiracy theory that we'll see Final Cut Pro 10.11 within 2024, 25? That was me. I just mentioned it on last week's show. I said that they announced Final Cut Pro 11 at the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. Not 10.11, 11, right. I said they announced Final Cut Pro 11 at the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. They are working on Final Cut Pro 11. They announced it. They did. They didn't say it by name. I said that. So, but it's interesting going from 10.8 jumping to 11. Since Logic did it, I expect Final Cut Pro to do the same. And surprisingly, for free if you own Final Cut Pro. A prediction is not the same as a conspiracy theory. Absolutely, no. I no conspiracy theory. I said it last week, on the Final Cut TV and Coffee. We're up to 245 live viewers and 76 thumbs up. Fantastic. Let's do this. Pull this down here. Pull this up here. Pull this and pull this. 245 and 76 thumbs up. All-time record for Final Cut TV. I'm just using that word as a joke. No, I know that. I'm not worried about that. That doesn't, I realize that you meant it as just a joke. So I said it last week on Final Cut TV and Coffee. I said that they announced Final Cut 11 at the Creative Summit. And they did, indirectly, not directly, but indirectly. So the fact that we see it in 2024, 2025, fantastic. Fantastic. Let's do this. So we have a lot of, more and more viewers are tuning in here. Do you have any comments about Final Cut Pro? I mean, who's getting an iPad? Our friend Eric says, I'm super interested in some AI magic for motion like rotoscoping. And Final Cut Pro would benefit from that too. So do other NLEs have rotoscoping? I guess they do, or we wouldn't be talking about it. What are the predictions for motion and compressor for the rest of the year? Motion is, I hate to say it, but motion is just, it hasn't been updated like Final Cut Pro over the last 13 years, so I don't think that's going to change. I think that's going to be about the same. Magic Mask and Resolve is where I'm at. There you go. Absolutely. Resolve for sure. Premiere Pro via After Effects. Yep. Fantastic. There we are. Let's So yeah, there is a bird there. Look at that birdie. We're at 256 live viewers right now. Are we going to hit 300? 257? Wow. 300. Let's go back over some of the details in case people that missed. Well, that's a good comment. I'm sure it can. Can Final Cut for iPad projects be sent to Final Cut Pro and a MacBook Pro? I'm sure they can, right? They can go from the iPad to Final Cut because Final Cut for the Mac is more powerful than Final Cut for iPad, although it's, you know, it's got about 80% of what the Mac version has or so, something like that. I'd love to see the Final Cut Pro Mac OS team and the Resolve team merged into one team, allowed to create the app they know they can make. Boy can dream. Yeah, I like the competition, Ben. I like the competition. The Final Cut Pro team singled out DaVinci Resolve for accolades at the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. They mentioned it specifically. They've singled out DaVinci Resolve as being a very good or great app, or they brought it up. So they did that. So that will be interesting. I know that Apple specifically says you can go from iMovie to Final Cut for iPad. I know Final Cut from iPad to Final Cut Pro, but I don't think you can go back from Final Cut Pro to Final Cut for iPad. Final Cut Pro team is not competing with anyone. I don't see it. Like you say, talk ain't the walk. So here's the thing that I meet the Final Cut Pro team. I talk with them. I talk to people. They specifically said, of course, they hear all the things on social media and they hear people saying you don't update enough and et cetera. But they said, we are going to update Final Cut Pro at our pace. We hear what people are saying. We know what the competition is, but they're not jumping into that race. They're going to update Final Cut Pro at their pace. So if you want to use Final Cut Pro, that's the reality. They're not going to update it according to another pace. You can export an entire Final Cut Pro project with or without all this project media so that you or a colleague can work on it in Final Cut Pro on another iPad or on your Mac. There you go. That's just a quote from the Final Cut iPad user manual. Awake, not woke. It's a funny name there. Okay. That's fine. Just got here, but the new renaming effects is pretty darn cool. It absolutely is. And it's been on my list for quite a while. Where is that? Copy of me. MacBook web videos. Here we go. So, top requests. Yeah, we have it down here. Where is it? Clip logger. FCPX.tv. I'm the longest running Final Cut Pro 10 website in history. Let's see where that is. Color improvements. Rename color adjustments in the inspector. Number 13. It's been on the list for a while. I wonder if you can use the multicam feature on a live stream. In effect, that would be a live switcher. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that. I'd like to, I mean, of course, that would be fantastic. That would be fantastic if we could. 268 people are watching live right now. Of all the Final Cut Pro people, 268 are watching live. That is very, very cool. Can't beat it. Cannot beat it. Here you go. $268, 270 right now. 270. Now, Awake Not Woke has said, thank you very much, 77. You can drop those renamed color effects right on the timeline of viewer as well. You, listen. Top request. You are taking things off of my list here. They took out both of those things off my list. Look at this. Where is that one? This has been on a list for a long time. Drag an effect or apply it to a timeline clip from the inspector to the timeline or to the event browser. Been on my list for quite a while, for years. I said, why can't you drag an effect from the inspector to a timeline clip? Well, in 10.8, you will be able to do that. Once again, the Final Cut Pro team watches these live streams. They do let me see what this is. I have got to download updates for Resolve. They just put out version 19. I'll update Final Cut 2. I noticed your little Spark amp in the background. I've got the Spark 40. Been tinkering for quite a bit. I love that amp. That amp is so, so cool. It is really, really cool. It's got a lot of great tone to it. So it seems that the and other cameras comment I heard on the Apple presentation was bit misleading. Live multicam only works with iDevices. Live multicam connects wirelessly via your Final Cut camera, a new video capture app enabling users to view up to 4 iPhone or iPad devices, providing vectors view of each camera in real time. Now we should be able to not just move effects with drag and drop, but to do the same with individual parameters, just like in motion. So the new 10.8 AI features won't work with Intel processors? Don't know. Late on live streaming, do we have a delivery date for 10.8 version? We don't, but Logic is coming out next Monday, Tuesday. I'm pretty sure that 10.8, Final Cut Pro 10.8 will be the same. I just want to say this update is very reassuring. They heard us and things are moving in the right direction. I'd much rather have a good implementation than jumping the gun. Absolutely. And we will give the Final Cut Pro team another round of applause. Thank you, Final Cut Pro team. They watched this live stream. They watched the live stream. Thank you very much. This is as good as 10.7 when it came out at the Creative Summit. Looks like they are watching your list, blue smiling. Then they've taken that list into meetings before. I've heard from the inside. But they also watch this live stream. So I mean, scrolling timeline been number one forever, and they crossed that off the list last year. AI features some recommended M chips who require M chips. Look at the footnotes in the Newsroom releases. Let's go over there and look. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be the case going forward. We're almost up to 300 live viewers. We're up to 285, 78. Let's see if we can get to 300. Tell some of your friends to come on over here. Fantastic. I imagine the 140-watt extension cabinet will make its way into my studio this summer. Well, let's turn this thing on. I don't know if it's if I'm in tune or not. Let's see what we got here. I think it is in tune. Surprisingly, I haven't tuned it up for a while. I think it is in tune. No, it's not. It's close to being in tune. It's a little bit out. Close to being in tune. Close enough for rock and roll. You are very welcome, Stefano. I thought they said Final Cut Camera this next week is as well. They'll probably be out, I would say, next week. Thank you very much for thumbs up. Very, very much. You're the best audience, Final Cut Pro audience of anybody. But some of you, there you go, 290 people are almost at 300 live views. Almost at 300 live views. Now, let me see something here. Where is my, there we go. Fantastic. Let's see if we can get to 300. Let's see if we can get to 300. I thought somebody, well, let's go over there again and look at it. Hold on a second. Web video. Let's go over there and look at it. Hold on a second. Let me pull it up here. Let me just check on Final Cut Pro. Nope, not updated. Probably next week. That's what I'm going to suggest. Probably next week. Let's just do this. Final Cut Pro, Newsroom, M4 chip. Now, let me see if I can do this. I think I can. Yeah. Let's turn this off. Turn this on. Turn it on there so it's live. Our friend Ben says, hey, Richard, what about B-roll support? Yeah, that one guy said it about 20 times. So, Eric says, you were right, Logic 11 is serious. But here's the thing, Eric. It jumped from 8 to 11, and it's free for existing users. Final Cut Pro 10 is now at 10.8. So we can think this jumped from 10.8 to 11 at some point, and it might be free for existing users. I was not expecting that. So I love this feature. Final Cut Pro for iPad delivers support for projects on external drives. That's a great, great deal. All right, we got 11 away from 300 live viewers. We're at 289. 289. Let's get to 300. So anyway, we got that. Let me see. Let's see what else we have here. Huge updates. We got 80 thumbs up. Remarkable new iPad Pro. It's interesting that they didn't keep the features in parity. Our friend Don Stafford says, with Resolve being free, not having B-RAW support direct in Final Cut Pro is not a big deal. I have no issues using Resolve for that. Yeah, I don't use B-RAW, period. I don't use it at all. But for the use, I'm not one of these people. Final Cut Pro curmudgeons. Oh, I don't want a scrolling timeline, blah, 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 blah. I don't use B-RAW, but all the people that want it, I support you. I support you. So that's magnificent. This is Apple confirming our assessment. iPad apps to bring in consistent revenue and subsidize the Mac apps. Well, I think they're still selling Final Cut on the Mac as well. I mean, let's just say at 4 million, at 5 million Final Cut users, they got 1.5 billion with the B dollars for Final Cut Pro, plus all the hardware that it's our hardware sales it's generated. I have customer that uses it sometimes. Yeah, I know people do, especially with your shooting with Blackmagic. I understand, but I mean, you have a free version. Okay, we hit 300 live viewers. I don't believe. That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. $80 thumbs up. You people are absolutely the best. Now, I don't understand how they get those graffitis to go behind my shoulder. Watch them. Look, they go behind my shoulder like the balloons do. Eric says, for sure, but iPad users are potential Mac users. It's like free market research. No, I agree. No, the subscription for the entry-level version of Final Cut, which is Final Cut for iPad, I've said this many times. I'm not a fan of subscriptions, but I do have some subscriptions. I have Apple TV. I have Ecamm Live. I have other Descript, which I'm not going to renew. It's been problematic for months, and they haven't fixed my issues, so I won't be renewing them. But Final Cut on the iPad for $5 a month is completely reasonable. It's completely reasonable. Not only that, but you can turn it on and off, the subscription on and off right here. So if you want to use it for a month, subscribe, $4.99. Once it becomes active and you're ready to go, you can immediately turn it off with your iPhone in iCloud subscriptions. You can immediately turn it off here so you don't forget to turn it off, and it'll run for the month, but you have a timer on it, and here it'll turn off so you don't get charged again at the end of the month. That is fantastic. Fantastic. That's what I like about subscriptions with the Mac. Everything I can, I use my iPhone for subscriptions for. This is an all-time record, 300 live views, 301. This is fantastic. Make sure you come back on Saturday mornings. We'll be back this Saturday at 10 o'clock Eastern to talk more about Final Cut Pro. Now, where am I going here? Nope, we want this one. Here we go. Turn that off. Turn this on. 301 views, 71 thumbs up. Fantastic. You people are the best. Absolutely the best. It's interesting. It only does the graffiti inside my camera. Doesn't do it on the screen. We hit 301 viewers. That's fantastic. All right. Congratulations. Motivate everybody. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. 301. Yes, it was 301. All-time record. So very positive about this new version because Apple jumped in from 10.7.1 to a major update 10.8. This means they've changed something in Core Final Cut Pro, something on its heart, and more of this. They talk about AI tools. And I have a feeling that the M4 chip, we're going to see more about the M4 chip with Final Cut Pro. Don't you think? When the Final Cut Pro comes, we have it on the iPad. When it comes on the MacBook Pro, we're going to see it. Let me see something here. Let me just go over here real quick. Ben says that Final Cut Pro 11 will require M-Series chip. That's very possible. But does Logic 11 require? I think going forward, I mean, the M-Series chips has been out for years now. There's going to be features that are only available on an M-Series chip. I think they'll support maybe the 2019 Mac Pro Intel and stuff. Have to see how that goes. Let me just check on something here. I want to see. That's weird. Oh, you know what? I don't have. Let's do this. Yeah, let's do that. There we go. Our friend Ben says, two of Logic's new things require M-Series chip. The other recommends M-Series chip. Well, it's obvious that the Intel chips are old at this point. So the M-Series M-Series chips are the future of Final Cut. Eric says, I don't know what you're using the script for, but I've been using Glingit for text-based editing for a year now and should give it a try, then send XML to Final Cut Pro and do the actual edit. I used DaVinci Resolve 19 beta for text-based editing. You just do it in the app. You can edit a browser clip, all the media pool clip, or you can edit right in the timeline now with DaVinci Resolve 19 Studio. It works fantastic. It absolutely works fantastic. But I heard from LumaFusion, this is not a direct quote, but they said they think that Apple wants to do text-based editing on device. They don't want to be sending anything to a cloud. So it's more secure, just like the way that your fingerprint stays on the device and your face recognition stays on the device. This is what they surmise, that Apple's trying to do it on the chip. So maybe with the M4 chips, we're going to see that. I'm excited about the M4s. I'm excited. Both the iPad Pro, it's been years since I've updated my iPad Pro. I have an iPad Air 2, which has got to be 5, 6, 7 years old at this point. So I'll be excited to get the new one. That'll be very, very cool. Very cool. Let me just pull this over here. Drag it down here. There we go. There we go. So we got 309 viewers, live viewers right now. 310, all-time record. Make sure you stop by Saturday mornings, Final Cut TV and Coffee. Final Cut TV and Coffee, right on this YouTube channel. We'll be talking about Final Cut Pro 10.8. We might be back another time this week to talk some more. Have to see what we can find out, what's going on. See what kind of inside information. I agree with your feeling about M4 chip, but I don't have money to buy a new M4 Max. That's always an issue. Money is an issue. Gling cuts the bad takes automatically using AI. It's surprisingly accurate, okay? I take your word for it. Dog food commercial. Why are they showing me dog stuff? Oh, wait. I know why. You're a dog trainer. I knew that. So in Logic Pro, Session Players in Chroma Glow recommends M Series. Absolutely. Stem Splitter requires M Series. So Stem Splitter is for Logic, not for Final Cut. My iMac Pro performs fantastic still, but I'll have to upgrade not for performance, but for AI features, I guess. Yes. That makes complete sense. Plus, you're supporting the Final Cut Pro team when you buy a new Mac. When you buy a new Mac, tell them you're buying it for Final Cut Pro and to give some money to the Final Cut Pro team. Is it anybody's birthday today? 81 thumbs up. After upgrading, you might want to get a dedicated space heater. I'm sure their salaries are much more than mine. I'm sure they make good money. They should, right? They absolutely should. Let me see what else I have. I don't need heaters. I have dogs. That's right. Dogs are very, very warm. Absolutely. Fantastic. I've already mowed the grass once. This is usually, I'll have to mow it again this week, probably, this weekend. Yes, Ben says, what camera are you using in your backyard? Is it shooting through a window? Yes, it is shooting through a window, and it is a Mevo. Let me see what it says. A Mevo P1416. It's a little Mevo camera, and it's shooting via Wi-Fi connected to Ecamm Live. Eric says, something I noticed, I've been using more Logic again lately, and it's beautiful. I mean, the UI specifically. In Final Cut Pro, the audio effects have the old UI from a few years ago. Yeah, they do. And Logic is much better. The UI is much better. Looking for cheap cameras for a church to live stream with. Very poor church, so they're looking for really cheap. If anybody has any suggestions, PM me, please. So the Mevo is really cool, but it's, I don't know, $200-300. It wirelessly connects, but I'm connecting with Ecamm Live. They have some kind of a deal where they did something. Somebody else has troubles with Logic and Final Cut Pro round trip. For me, both XML Extra Pro doesn't work anymore. So here's the deal that I found out from Logic and Final Cut. First off, I think XML export and import is clunky in 2024. You got to do a better job than that. That's really like 1990s or 2000 technology. DaVinci Resolve just has tabs. You go from one app to the other. There's no XML import, export nonsense. So let's get rid of the XML. If you at least get rid of it so it's not using an XML file. Logic's version of XML, unless they've changed, is several versions behind what Final Cut Pro does. So suppose Final Cut Pro is at version 7, Logic was at version 4.5. To me, Logic doesn't care about the video. Logic only cares about the audio. Otherwise, why wouldn't it be the same version of XML that Final Cut Pro is using? It's not. At least it wasn't. I haven't tried in a while, but I've looked it up and it was several versions behind. And the video doesn't come back. You can't go from Logic to Final Cut. You can go from Final Cut to Logic, do your audio, spit out the audio, and bring that back into Final Cut. But there's no live linking between, like Resolve, the edit page, and Fairlight, they're linked together. Resolve, the edit page, and DaVinci Resolve, the color correction tab, they're linked together. You just click on the tab, whatever you're working on, that's what works. FCP LPX round trip has always been shaky and less than desired, especially for larger, complicated projects. A concept like Affinity would be absolutely enough for me if you could open a timeline in motion like you can open a designer project in photo or vice versa. All my problems would be solved. All your problems? You don't have any other problems except for that. You're doing really, really good, Eric. Like we used to have between Final Cut and Motion round trip. That was, in Legacy Final Cut, that was phenomenal. You could take a Motion project into a Final Cut Pro timeline. It lived as a clip in a Final Cut Pro timeline, just a regular clip. If you double-clicked on the Motion clip in the Final Cut Pro timeline, it would open up in Motion, make your adjustments, save in Motion, and it would update in the Final Cut Pro timeline. The motion project clip would update in the Final Cut Pro timeline. Whatever the heck magic that was, phenomenal. 317 viewers. It's a lot of cool viewers. Every one of you is very, very cool. I don't know, the fact that 10.8 came out today. We'll be back on. We'll talk more about what's going on. Eric says he has no problems except for affinity. Concept like Definity would be, that's the only problems he has in the entire world. You're doing great. 320 live viewers right now. All righty. Well, we've been on for a record 3 hours and 13 minutes. 3 hours and 13 minutes. I remember way back in the day, Legacy Final Cut Promotion, the late and super great Bruce Nazarian showed me that you could open motion project files into QuickTime Player and they played as a video. That's certainly interesting. That I did not know. All right. Any other questions that I can possibly answer? I'm just checking. No, Final Cut's not been updated. Nope, nope, nope. Well, we got our update to Final Cut. It's coming next week, probably. Probably. The other day, YouTube recommended me videos when you were playing a concert. I clicked on it. It was amazing, really cool. I think you mean, let me go over here and play this little bit. I think you mean this. Let me go over here. I have a series of concerts that I did. And my garage, and they started during COVID. Instead of going out to see bands, right? I started bringing bands to my house, and they set up in the garage. I have a double car garage, blacktop driveway where people could watch outside, and I had bands come over there, and I did the PA, and I did the recording, and I did 3-camera recording and stuff, and it continued through last year. So let's go over there and just watch a little bit of this. Let me see. So if you go over there to raz.tv, let me see if I turn this on. I don't know if it's going to play. Let's see if it's going to play. So I just mixed these guys. I recorded them with 3 cameras, and I did a multi-track mix. These are friends of mine. Let me see if it's going to play the music. I don't know.
Way up high, the main man with a funny alibi. Spaceman didn't. Spaceman didn't shoot the moon.
They are Hucklebuck, if that's what you're talking about. And so I have the 3 or 4 bands that they're friends of mine. And I said, why don't you come over here? This is during COVID. And I said, why don't you come over here, set up in my garage, double car garage, carpet down, PA. It sounds good inside. They're undercover. The audience is outside on blacktop. And they have to be original bands. These are all original roots rock bands. And I did a series of concerts with them. And this is Hucklebuck from last year. And I've also did Go Dog Go, From the Hills, and the Harlan County Kings. And I record them with 3 cameras, and I multi-track record them. So I do a multicam inside of Final Cut Pro, but the audio is multi-track. Every instrument gets their own track. I recorded 24-bit in Logic Pro. So I do the mix in Logic Pro, and then spit the audio out, the mix out, and bring it back into Final Cut Pro. And I use the audio track underneath of the multicam track. So when I switch the video, the audio doesn't switch. The track just stays. So that's the latest one, Hucklebuck. And I love music. I love, look at my background. And this was a chance for them to come out and play more. They get exposure on my YouTube channel and Facebook and stuff. And it's been really cool. Anyway, it works really, really well as a multicam clip inside of Final Cut Pro. So I think that's what you're talking about. Ben says, I'd ask questions, but I already know the answer to all questions is German Shepherd. Absolutely. Someone gave me an old, no-name bass guitar. I'm about to strip it down, rework it from scratch, build a half-decent new bass. Should be fun, absolutely. Sounds like fun. I don't know what your pickups and stuff are, but that's it. Anyway, that's the concert series. Raz TV is where you can go, and I'll be putting up 1 or 2 more clips going forward. I just put the Hucklebuck one up from last year. And there's other clips up from different years as well. I used to do them live. I used to stream live, but it's less hassle if I just film it and then edit it afterwards. We're up to 320 live viewers right now. All-time record. Musician plus woodworker, build a guitar. Absolutely. So music's been my life. I've always liked music a lot, especially electric guitar music. I have not yet decided on pickups. There's a whole world of pickups out there. This Strat is a 72 or 73, and I have Seymour Duncan's on it, and my main guitar, this one, is a 69 Strat, and I have Seymour Duncan quarter pounders on it. I'm really a big fan of Seymour Duncan, but I have no idea what's out there nowadays. No idea. I mean, it could be all kinds of stuff out there. All righty. $321 people. You are the best live audience of any Final Cut Pro live stream. Absolutely. And the Final Cut Pro team. We want to get accolades to the Final Cut Pro team. Fantastic. You did a great job today. I know it's been a lot of hard work. Really appreciate it. Keep it up. Keep it up. For the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit in the fall, if it happens in November, that is fantastic. Considering a Seymour Duncan SPB3 quarter pound, the ones on my 69 Stratter quarter pounders, but I have it wired up special. I got a weird wiring way to do things. Any other questions about Final Cut Pro that we can answer? Final Cut Pro 10.8. Let's see what else we have. I got a lot of, let me just see something real quick. Just going to check these things out. Oh yeah, that's cool. Let's put this up. Let's put this up. This is very cool. This is, let me get, where the heck would that go? Here we go. Cam link, got to go above it. This is the renaming of effects. The renaming of effects. Can 10.8 wash dishes or vacuum? I do not know, but we'll have to find out. That's a nice little Fender amp in the background there. So you can rename your effects in the effects window. I'm just checking on a few things. Very, very cool. I have nothing but accolades for the Final Cut Pro team, the same way that happened from the Creative Summit. 329 live viewers. 329. What the heck? I think the highest live count I had before was 100. 100 and something. There's the backyard. Sunshine's coming out. Well, Final Cut Pro super appreciate the dev team, but I'm sure they were higher up at Apple who hinder them and not want to drink with. Just saying. Yeah, probably. Thanks for the coverage. It's 10:30 around here. Gotta go. See ya. I'm going to go myself. 3 hours and 25 minutes is plenty. Plenty of Final Cut Pro stuff. Subscribe over there, Final Cut TV. Richard Taylor TV over there at YouTube. Thank you very much. Do an excellent job providing Final Cut Pro news. Don't be surprised if viewership is increasing. Excellent. Very nice project. Thank you very much. Thanks, Richard. Have a good week. Thank you, Ben. Always enjoy you having coming around. I'm going to go get some dinner. I might be back later this week with another whatever, Final Cut live stream. But we certainly will be back Saturday, Final Cut TV and Coffee, every Saturday morning, 10 o'clock Eastern. And we'll be back this Saturday. Of course, the subject matter will be Final Cut Pro 10.8, Logic Pro 11. They jumped from 10.8 to 11. That's probably good news for Final Cut as well. No cost. No cost. There's no cost. There's no subscription for Logic Pro. Monica Protein. Thank you so much for doing a great job. All the listeners, that's all of you. You have the best audience of any Final Cut Pro live stream available. My name is Richard Taylor, in case you didn't know. Sometime I don't say anything. Here is my YouTube channel. You're probably watching, most of you are watching from there. Let me just go up here and look real quick. Streaming 301. That can't be right. 301 are watching on X? Is that right? That's a lot of people watching on X. No wonder the amount has gone up. It's X that's pushing the numbers up. Fantastic. That's interesting. I didn't think that, X is really pushing the numbers up. I would really like to see X can do some competition to YouTube. It would be phenomenal. Let me close that up. Very interesting. Anyway, youtube.com, Richard Taylor TV, X, Richard Taylor TV. We're here every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock Eastern, talking Final Cut. We've been doing it for over a year, 64 episodes so far. Every Saturday morning, I'll be back this Saturday, coming Saturday, and I might be back during the week when I find out a little bit more, but we'll have to see how that goes. See you Saturday. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I will talk to you later.